Sometimes it's surprisingly effective to have a go at the law. I found myself a while ago in the same bleak airport after monitoring an election somewhere with the head of the Russian Duma, and a big man, and he had a huge number of bodyguards and people with him, and we were stuck in this VIP room which had nothing in it at all except some drink. And it was clear we were going to be there for at least 2 or 3 hours because there wasn't an aeroplane. And so I approached him. I knew that in Russia, this was human trafficking was legal, just as in fact it was in Bulgaria until they joined the European Union. It's amazing what you find is legal, which is why it's worth looking at the legislation almost first and foremost. And so I started talking to him, and he was kind enough to talk to me, a big burly man, and I managed to get the vodka, and so about, I promise you, several bottles later, which had also been shared by the rest of his delegation, he had agreed to put a law through Duma to outlaw human trafficking. But about a year later, I had the opportunity to go to Moscow again, and so I looked him up. Everybody said, well, jolly good try, but it won't have meant anything. And to my utter amazement, he had not only remembered it, but he had by that time made a law making human trafficking illegal. That means that now in Russia, you can be had up for this. I mean, it's the beginning. It's not the end, because there's a lot of human trafficking from Russia. But nonetheless, we now have a law. I think looking at the law is absolutely vital, and of course the justice system. And seeing how the law is implemented is important. To me, the quality of the government is in that sense not that relevant. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of NGOs won't work with governments because they say the governments are bad. My view is that if there's been some form of a reasonable election, and they're very often not reasonable, nonetheless, this is the people's government, and in that sense it's worth working with them as closely as you possibly can. Why? Because that's the way to unearth true corruption. All of the societies where there is a lack of provision for humans, all of the societies I've ever met, where there's a great lack, will have corruption. And corruption, of course, is hugely growing at the moment, absolutely massively growing. And corruption, therefore, to me, is the biggest thing to tackle of all. It's extremely difficult to do that if you can't get inside the government in some shape or form. Yes, the government will be corrupt. Almost all governments are corrupt. It seems to be the handicap of being in government. Governments become corrupt quite quickly. Some of them go in to be corrupt. Some of them want to be in government in order that they can be corrupt, as individuals or as groups. But nonetheless, if you don't tackle that, and it's a difficult topic, and you may put yourself in great danger, you may put your people who inform you in great danger. So you really want not to have any information from anyone else. You've got to suffer it out for yourself.